So a lot of what success means to me, I think comes from society's view of what success is. Society, broadly speaking, success obviously relates to money 9 times out of 10.
A lot of my life, I've been financially insecure, I've been emotionally insecure, just different aspects of feeling vulnerable and feeling open have made me feel like my idea of success is tied to having that sustainability, that security.
I would definitely say success involves money. It involves like a large house, being able to like support your family, not having to like want for something. I think that comes from like not being like that affluent as a child and like not being able to get some of the things that like, you know, you would want your family to be able to do, or like go on a vacation or do different things that like you see other people do, and you feel like that's what success is, being able to like use that money not just to be like happy, but to do things that you know are gonna like make you and your family happy.
And I'm always either the exception or I'm always othered in some way as, oh, that's the black poet who's so wonderful, who's so talented, when I'm just a poet. Yes, a black poet, but no less a poet who's mastered a form, who's put in the work, whose work is not good because I'm black, whose work is good because I've been studying this form, who I've been studying this art for years.
I think the heart of, you know, being a black millennial is being, I think, seeing a lot more exposure to these things that maybe the generation before us didn't have as much, you know, visual or audio visual exposure to.
The pressures that I have faced so far is within feeling like I need to speak up when I don't necessarily need to. Our ancestors, you know, they had to keep quiet, and the society has placed us in right now where someone has to step up, someone has to speak up, someone has to be on the front line to make change into this world. The
emergence of Black Lives Matter, and then a lot of protests that happened down the line off of various police killings of unarmed black folk. You see, you know, older generations criticizing the way in which a lot of young black folk are protesting, right? So there's obviously a disconnect between, you know, what certain people think are acceptable forms of protests, that is between this generation and the one before us.
For me, as a black millennial, I feel like my experience is kind of marked by trying to reconcile the palatability. I'd say I define myself as a black woman, and I guess that can seem like a narrow focus sometimes, but for me personally, I feel like there's so much beauty in the essence of being a black woman and the totality of being black in America and what that means in our communities, in our schools, in our social lives. You know, we're treated differently because of who we are and how we look, or mainly how we look, but I feel like that does not define who we are. And for me, I'd say in embracing my blackness and being confident in my own womanhood, I've been able to be a more confident person overall.
It's really interesting to see a society changing before my very eyes in response to the abrasiveness of our country, in response to the demand for representation and the lack of space for it. And so people are really creating space for what they need, what they see in themselves needs to be at the forefront. People are bringing that to the table.